like me over there. Igor Kowalski is with us. Igor, how are you?
Sean, we love you.
I don't know about that. All right.
Open arms.
Let's be fair. I don't have a problem that Matthews worships, adores, has an Obama-gasm at the sight of the guy. I don't have a problem with that part. I like making fun of it. I don't ever. It's fair. He wants to do an interview. Here's the point. Even though it's going to be a friendly interview, how do you have an interview like this and not ask, Mr. President, what do you say to the millions of Americans that you promised could keep their plan and keep their doctor? And we're going to save $2,500 per family per year. What do you say to them that either lost their plan, lost their doctor, or are paying more? Don't you think that had to be asked, and it wasn't?
Well, look, I think it's a question he's been asked before. It's a question he's answered. It's something
Igor,
he's apologized for.
Come on. What do you say to the millions of Americans that got cancellation letters? That's
well,
basic.
I think to them, I would say you were in a market where you were being canceled and dumped all the time. Now you're going to go into an insurance exchange, a private insurance exchange, where you're going to get subsidies for coverage and comprehensive insurance that's going to be there when you need it.
Mr. President, you promised these people. You made a promise, a pledge, a vow. They trusted you.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I agree. Overly broad political statements are dangerous to make in politics. Certainly, he knows that. He made a mistake.
Made a mistake.
Yeah, but he
the American people made a mistake. They believe
he shouldn't have said it. He shouldn't have said it. But I think at the end of the day, when you're going to have people signing up for insurance, getting insurance that really works, that covers all their conditions,
you're saying, don't worry, it's going to be.
I think those numbers are going to change around.
You know, Katie, I don't know. I mean, Igor's trying to. It's a hard thing for a left person to answer. Why does it just get in my craw that those people are suffering and a president lied to them?
Well, and this is the thing, on a serious note here. I think that the way Chris Matthews didn't ask that question, the way that the president hasn't been asked that question directly, and how he hasn't directly come out and addressed these families and these individuals who are losing their health insurance and aren't getting put into a better marketplace. I'm sorry, but they're not going to get better coverage. They can't sign up for Obamacare through the exchanges, and they're seeing their premiums triple. For young women, it's going up 193%. That is not better coverage. That is not. Please explain to me how they're getting better coverage. They're not getting better coverage. They don't have coverage. 5 million people have lost their insurance. But to my broader point is that Chris Matthews not asking the question and President Obama continually dodging it, and people like you dodging the question, shows that you don't appreciate and you've never respected the fact that these people are losing their insurance, and these are real people dealing with real problems who have lost their insurance coverage and they need help.
No, Katie, I respect the fact that people who lost their insurance are upset about it. I respect the fact that they heard their president say they can keep their coverage and now they can't. They're frustrated. I understand that, and I think the president made an overly broad statement. I agree. But I think that at the end of the day,
he lied.
Those same people
this is not an overly broad statement. This was a lie. This was a lie.
Well, it's a statement that says...
Let's walk through this one more time. We had President Obama for years saying, if you like your plan, you can keep it, period. You had Democrats for years, and to this day, you had Harry Reid just this week saying, the president didn't lie. You have Nancy Pelosi saying the president didn't lie. People can still keep their plans or get them back. And then, again, further, in 2009, Democrats had the chance to vote for an amendment that would allow millions of people to keep their health care plans, and they voted against it. So don't tell me that President Obama misspoke when he lied about it.
I didn't say he misspoke. I said I didn't.
You said it was an overly broad political statement.
Let me say this. At the end of the day, I don't care who you are, you can't make the promise that you can absolutely keep the coverage you have. You couldn't have made it before the law, and you can't make it now.
Well, why don't we
because
start
the market is currently changing.
Why don't we start? Igor, hang on. Wait. So you're admitting he lied. All right. Fair enough. On the fundamental promises of the way this law was sold, they made a conscious decision. We now know back in July of 2010. So I think, to be fair, for the American people, if it's going to be 1/6 of the economy, why don't we just start over?
You don't want to start over because you already have millions of people who have coverage for the very first time. You have millions of people in Medicaid, low-income Americans who now have insurance.
100,000 people? 100,000 people
are signing up for this coverage every single day. You're not going to take this insurance away from them. They're signing up on the exchanges. They're signing up on the state-based exchanges. in Kentucky,
Let's
in
break down the
California,
numbers.
in Maryland,
Okay, let's
in
break
New
down the
York.
numbers. Let's break down the numbers that came out. We're talking about 100,000 people, 23,000 of which have signed up through the Federal Exchange. Compare that
Now
to
it's- now it's a lot higher.
Compare that. Okay, let's talk about numbers. Compare that to the number of people who have lost insurance, 5 million. Now further compare it to the number of people who are expected to lose insurance. 77 million people in this country are expected to lose their health insurance thanks to Obamacare. And you're going to tell me
Katie,
that
I
because a
don't
couple
know.
people have
Katie, I
signed
don't
up
know
through the
what
exchange
world
that
you
that's a
lived
success?
in before, where people never lost their coverage ever. What world did you live in before? People lost their coverage in the individual market if they developed cancer.
Hey,
if
Igor,
they had
the
herpes,
CBO
they were
said,
pushed
hold
off
on,
their
the
insurance.
CBO says,
Now they're going to have coverage.
the CBO says that under Obamacare, 30 million Americans remain uninsured.
Well, yes, those are the undocumented immigrants, and those are
30 million
other low-income
Americans
Americans.
30
yes,
million.
those are. Sean, if
Okay.
you're going to insure more people, and if your complaint is the law doesn't insure more, I'd be happy to work with you
right,
to
Katie, we'll
insure
give you the
those
last
30
word.
million people. Absolutely.
This is the point. Obamacare was sold on the idea to get 45 million uninsured people in this country insured. It was not sold on the idea that millions of people would have to lose their plan in order to insure the minority in this country. Let's focus on getting the people who need to be insured insured. Don't take it away from the rest of Americans because your program isn't working for them.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Thank you both. You know, if I lied, you guys over at Think Progress, you'd be attacking me. Now, what do you, Igor? You'd be after me, right, Igor? Truth?
Sean, we love truth at Think Progress.
Well, then you should be attacking the president.
Listen, I agree. He shouldn't have made an
I didn't
overbroad
see. I have
statement.
never seen you on your
Caveats are
website
needed.
attacking the
It wasn't
president.
a statement.
You attacked me.
Sean, I'll email you those posts.
Tell John Podesta I say hi. We got to roll. Coming up.